It's a morning like any other at the southern tip of Greenland. An autonomous province of Denmark, with its population of 57,000 made up almost entirely of Inuits, Greenland is the least densely populated territory in the world. Its inhabitants live off fishing and hunting. In Narsaq, the community is on the verge of a minor revolution. The village boasts one of the world's largest deposits of rare earth elements. It could become the El Dorado for industrialists in search of strategically valuable ores. As the first boats put to sea and weave their way through the icebergs, Pavia heads to the weather station, a short distance from the village.
Qamat tamasa downloaderiert tapasiri sierfik taur ul sapatikinna minnappa marleriarli sirisiaf alqatarpak ainginnersit.
In this part of the world, people live to the rhythm of the seasons and the weather.
Ompaitsartata anera sum sammeqarnersa ana qansakkortutigiwa taur puyogaraaqartigiwa illoqarfi.
Pavia is Inuit. At 51 years of age, he has grown up and lived most of his life in Narsaq. Today in mid-June, the thermometer reads 10 degrees, but he has known it much colder.
Meeqaallitam narsarsuutungaan sikkusarniku piilertarlit narsarsuuliartarniku meeqaalta 1970 taaman 3-4 meterin apisarallarma illu ilai matortiterlitsi.
Every summer, nearly 95% of the Greenland ice floes melt. Global warming is a godsend for mining companies that seek to exploit the country's resources. 30 of them are jostling for position in the hope of making a fortune. For 4 years, Pavia has been a clerk in an Australian mining company, Greenland Minerals and Energy. It's a world leader in mineral extraction.
Morning, Pavia. Hvad er det?
Du kan se 1250 og så begynder den print.
Ib is the manager. Originally from Denmark, he has lived in Greenland for the last 25 years. The famously coveted ores are the so-called rare earths, a family of 17 metals embedded in the rock behind these mountains.
From the top of the plateau, you can see out in the valley, just up in the clouds in the middle of the valley, you can see the Kvarnefjeld Plateau. And from there, we bring down the core from our exploration.
The company has already prepared samples of thousands of tons of volcanic rock, classified and archived in these boxes.
Here you see a piece of what we find interesting. It's a magma, it's a laterite, and it contains the rare earth. And we would like to find out where it is, how deep it is, and how much there is. And so far we justified that this particular resource at Kvarnefjeld, Narsaq intrusion, is one of the biggest resources on rare earth, uranium and zinc outside China.
The rare earths, with their electromagnetic properties, are sought after by countries the world over, dreaming of industrial revolution.
It's a big and important part of all green tech technology appliances, mobile phones, flat screen, green tech technology, super magnets, super pumps, windmills, all kinds of green tech technology, electrical car, hybrid cars, and this is the future for the industrial development of the world. Begynder at finde nogle paletter frem og så stable nogle kasser.
In order to carry out this classification work, the Australian company obtained an exploration license in 2009 for a zone with strictly defined boundaries.
We have the license in this area here. This is our area on the northern side of the area. This is where we have permission to explore for minerals. And we can go to the other map with some more detail. Here you can actually see, if you go close up, how many holes we have made on the Kvarnefjeld Plateau. In total, we have justified that in those 3 zones, there is more than 950 million tons of ore.
According to the company's calculations, there is enough ore in the rock to mine for over 100 years. A supply that would guarantee Greenland some handsome earnings.
I think it's important to say that both our governments and probably most Greenlanders think that mining industry can contribute to our economic self-reliance. And of course, it can do so if royalties, corporate taxes, income taxes from the people working in the mines are we're sure that we'll have these kind of incomes.
Since 2009, Greenland has gained greater autonomy from Denmark, with a considerable transfer of powers. Only the currency, defence, and foreign policy remain Danish. Greenlanders are now free to market their own resources. The step towards independence is celebrated by Pavia and his village on the 21st of June, a national holiday. Anthems, flags, and traditional activities, the Inuit identity and the Greenlandic language are celebrated. Avara, the new councillor for the village, opens the ceremony.
Ama illoqarfitsin tikeraat attortisimaaqaangu toqqatserpunga namminersulernikuugut tulluusimaarluta namminersorluta ullorsiorpugut tamanna ullumikkut angusimassangikkaluarparput iliuseqartartunik innutaasoqarsimangitsuupak.
Yet Greenland is still reliant on a financial drip. Denmark allocates 500 million euros a year to the country's administration. The extraction of rare earths presents itself as an expedient means of maintaining autonomy. One of the most enduring traditions, competitive sealing, where the fastest hunter wins money. An animal symbolic of Inuit culture, the seal's skin is used to fashion traditional garments, and its flesh to feed families on national holidays.
It's liver. He says that he wants to give me this because I had my first speech as a member of the council. Skål.
Celebrations over, Pavia returns home to his wife Sarah. She works at the nursing home. They met in the village of Narsaq and live together with their 2 adoptive daughters. Placement in foster care is a common practice in Greenland. To entertain his daughters, Pavia takes them to the neighbouring village on the company boat. There are very few shops in Narsaq. The journey takes around 1 hour. In Greenland, all goods are imported from Copenhagen on account of the Danish monopoly on freight transport. Prices are steep, but with his wages of 1,200 euros a month, Pavia can spoil his 2 girls.
Ima itsko.
Pavia has been working for 15 years. He got his house, which he has since renovated 10 years ago. 6,000 euros to buy, but with no right of ownership. Here, the land belongs to the state.
Ja, karas nunan pinakam. Tamam, tisabima narikasuus pigiwa. Nuna sawat qafsool am qinnitigilarpa ila attarterniar sagaru mat sawat qaffit. Nammin piginnajerpa qan.
But if Pavia is lucky enough to have a job and a family life, this is not the case for everybody in the village. Alcohol, suicide, and unemployment plague Greenland. Avarak, a friend of Pavia, is in charge of the economic development of the village. In winter, unemployment can hit up to 20% of the 1,600 residents. For those in the most uncertain circumstances, the council operates a scheme of benefits.
Så taster vi dem ind i systemet, og så får de et stempel på deres stempelkort. It looks like this. Qassissisaqami suding stempelrama. They get 680 Danish krone every 14th day, the ones who are single, without children, and those money are for food, and then house rent and electricity can also be paid by the municipality if you are unemployed.
Fishing is among the sectors worst hit by unemployment. And as in the rest of Greenland, Narsaq relies on this economy. Isaac is one of only 3 fishermen still active.
Hvor meget skal du have? 200. Det er for meget. 150. Det er Jørgen. Ja. Det er Jørgen. Ja. Den tager jeg bare med til. Ja. Så finder jeg lige nogle penge. Ja. Hej lige.
Narsaq pisisaq akiliimassia anniksiniku taamatu tamaktaram ataqatigu.
One factor is global warming. It has altered the currents, and fish stocks have dramatically diminished. Isaac sells cod, halibut, and some mackerel to the local fishmonger. The once abundant shrimp have almost completely disappeared. The fallout of this decline, the fish company went bankrupt. 50 jobs lost overnight. Today, Isaac's only wish is for the fishing industry to return to health.
Neriuppunguang sudi ilaqartuut inuussarsiit piganersaat aaliserningertissallu oqartarnaattu uyaqqat erniinginnami nugukkumaarsian aalisak piaqiaram nuguinnaviangilla.
Could rare earths be the answer to this intensifying crisis of unemployment? Pavia and Ib visit a potential deposit site, situated at an altitude of 1,200 meters. On foggy days, the ascent must be made on foot, along a path marked out by cracks and boreholes.
So we have made a total of 40,000 meters, and then average hole depth is about 350 meters. So there's hundreds of holes in the area we made.
It's taken 4 years of intensive drilling and nearly $60 million of investment to prove that beneath their feet lies a gold mine that has been here for millennia.
This whole region we are standing on is a magma chamber, which were caught in the crust of the earth. It never came to eruption as a volcano. And then it cooled down for hundreds of thousands of years. And this particular environment, the minerals and the chemistry had the opportunity to grow in a certain way, which made this very interesting minerals contents in this Narsaq intrusion, which is unique for this area. Here, this is the outskirts of the camp. This is where it all starts.
The last drilling campaign took place in the summer of 2012. These tents can accommodate up to 25 people in total, in the center of what might soon become an open pit mine.
We have a town not more than 6 kilometers away from here where we have open water access, we have harbor, and we have all year round ability to ship ore out from here. There is no ice in the winter that shuts down the fjord, so we can move our ore out of here all year round. Det tager altså 80 år før det kommer til at være sådan et stort hul i klippen. Men her kan du se det igen. For at undgå trafik ind igennem byen, ikke? Så vil man lægge den derude.
Benjamin is Inuit. Like Pavia, he was trained by the company. He has already been involved in 3 seasons of drilling and knows the project well. Ib talks him through the planned infrastructure.
Og så laver man, knuser man det, og så malmen gør man våd, og så ind i en pipeline. Og så den pipeline, den kører så hele vejen ned til havnen i våd. Og så filtrerer man den tør ned ved havnen, og så kommer man ombord skibet. På den måde så løser man støvproblematikken, i stedet for at køre med trucks.
A port capable of receiving huge freighters, a giant pipeline, and a plant for crushing rock. The landscape of Narsaq is to undergo major upheaval.
Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, yeah, quite enough so.
Many hundreds of jobs could also be created. But will they really benefit Greenlanders?
When the mine starts in the production phase, we will need about 200 and 225 local hired workforce. That's about 225 jobs. So that's a lot of people. And in order to integrate that workforce that are Greenlandic speaking in the beginning until they learn more English skills, we need foreman's trainees which know the job like Benjamin. And that's what we are looking for.
It is expected that many foreign workers for the constructions will come to Greenland and do the construction work. Of course, we can't all of a sudden have 3,000 to 4,000 Greenlanders educated to construct a mine. So I think that talking about these major projects, there is among some a hope or a mix of a hope and expectation that will solve the unemployment problem.
Before they can begin any construction, the Australian company must first convince the authorities that the mine will be of real benefit to the local population and not be harmful to the environment. It is in Nuuk, the capital, that the decision will be taken. Specifically in this building, the Ministry of Industry.
This one, steamed to pine, the black minerals here, that's the minerals which are in Kvanefjeld, which are with rare earth elements and uranium in that deposit down there.
Enrik is head of the geology department in the Office of Ore and Oil, responsible for assessing the feasibility of these projects and granting exploration licenses.
This is a license map, and this is offshore license for oil. And you can see on land there's different colors, small squares, and that's the license for the exploration companies on land.
In recent years, his department has been very busy. It has received hundreds of applications from around the world, but only 4 companies have managed to obtain a license to prospect for rare earths. Many would like a share of these reserves to free themselves from Chinese monopoly, which today represents 97% of global production.
China kept the rare earth elements themselves and didn't export it. Then there was a lack of rare earth in the rest of the world, and then the rest of the world was trying to get their own sources. And the interesting thing about rare earth elements, they are divided in light rare earth and heavy rare earth elements, and it's the heavy rare earth elements were interesting and lack of. So that's the demand from heavy rare earth are really high, and also high prices. And these deposits in South Greenland, they also have a lot of these heavy rare earth elements. So there's a great interest here.
And the interest continues to grow in a region that could become tomorrow's global supplier of rare earths. But for the authorities, one fear remains: the presence of uranium in the rock. Danish law prohibits its extraction.
Up to 8 meters per second from the northwest. For Uummannaq today, sunny and dry, maximum day temperatures around 12 degrees, minimum night temperatures around 3 degrees. Wind speeds below 3 meters per second from the east.
In Narsaq, to evaluate the risks posed by uranium to health and the environment, Pavia must regularly take readings in the village, particularly for the level of radon. Radon is a radioactive gas naturally emitted from volcanic rock. The data collected here will act as a benchmark for when the mine is operational. But the debate over uranium is primarily political, between supporters of the mining operation and the anti-nuclear lobby. And this is often echoed in the press.
Det er interessant at se den her rapport, som skulle komme fra industrien også, nu er færdig. There is an article where they are talking about at the autumn assembly they will put forward the new government a suggestion to change the policy regarding uranium and zero tolerance, and this will also affect a project like ours.
If the law is changed in the autumn, the Australian mining company could progress to the next stage. According to their schedule, the first extractions could start in 2017. In the meantime, Ibn Pavia can take in the brand new rock museum located in the heart of the village.
Det er lige før, man skal sige tillykke. Nej, det skal du ikke. Med os alle sammen.
The Australians are the main sponsors of the project, a Hearts and Minds campaign designed to firmly establish the company in the life of the village.
So it's beautiful. They've done a really nice job. Der er Børge jo. Og tillykke med dagen, skulle jeg til at sige, os alle sammen.
Det fik en sponsor.
Ja, men ved du hvad, det var meget fornøjelse.
Ja, det var godt. Ja. Og det kommer også frem.
In my view, this is a win-win for Narsaq to involve themselves in this project, and I can only see benefits coming out of that, because it will be in a manner and in a size that are manageable, and also the community need fresh income and fresh impressions from the outside as well. Greenland is not an isolated island cut off from the rest of the world. It's a part of the world, and it will affect the community development together with the Greenlandic culture. I think if you take the best of two worlds, you will have a good result.
Tän udorianat tää nessaaritsinau ua akiveriinerpatus illoqarfip toquyartiinnarp aalisakkeri matugo kisim sinnerilarpap immaat neqin toqoraavi taamat ammangikkin tappan illoqarf kuyataan qaqorto kisim аллисарниараа нарс утоққам мит иммаат иниссиссава таппан аммангиккини.
Will the company succeed in constructing a mine that respects both the environment and the traditional lifestyle of the Greenlanders. In Narsaq, nothing less than the future of the next generation is at stake.
3, 9, 2, 1.
The Greenlandic people want, like any other people, to be an independent state at some time. The question following will be, what kind of Greenlands would we like to be independent? And following that, would the mining industry be able to contribute in a positive sense to the Greenlandic that we want, meaning not substituting all that we have, but combining the modern and the traditional ways of life.